What is up? Welcome back to the show, the channel. We are going to be going through another house hack. So my client here, Ben, good friend of mine, house hacker, we'll be going through his house right behind me. It's over in the North Aurora place or North Aurora neighborhood. He's about 7 minutes away from the Anschutz Medical Campus and a pretty good location for house hacking, especially with the layout. So we will be going through his thoughts at the time when we were showing the property, what I thought about the property and what his income is. And make sure you stay till the very end because we'll be discussing what his regrets are, what the pros are, the cons are, and how much he's making on this property. So he's living on the main floor, Airbnb on the bottom, and let's go tour the actual home and I'll have him on the mic as well. So here we are with Ben. Genuine pleasure to have him back. What's up, dude?
Oh, just hanging out. Been good. How about yourself?
Nice, doing well myself. Yeah. Just really excited to see this place like not vacant and actually see it like a home now.
I live here, yes.
Yeah,
finally.
So seeing this place, especially going through like a house hack, it's something that I've been seeing like mostly vacant, but after my clients go into the place, treat it like their home, it's really nice to see. So we'll be going through the main floor first, your living situation, and then we'll be going to the Airbnb as if we were the guests. So really excited, man.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for having me. Yeah, cool.
Okay, lead the way, my guy.
All right, let's check it out.
How do you feel about shoes?
Shoes are totally fine. But like I said, it's the cleanest it's ever going to be. Keep them on.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, you kind of open right up into the living space. Took me a while to actually get any decor in here. I was focused more on the Airbnb setup, but yeah, like TV, couch, typical furniture. I work from home couple days a week, so I have a desk in the corner. I like the big window there, using it to see when my guests get here and what's going on in the neighborhood. So
so if we were to orient ourselves with where the living room is compared to what is downstairs directly beneath us?
Directly beneath us is one of the bedrooms. That smaller bedroom is kind of in this space here. And then that kind of probably cuts off to that little living space kitchenette mix in this side of the living room. So, cool. But I do love having a big kitchen. So yeah, got the little dining table, and then it's kind of just nice and open.
Yeah.
And like I usually just mostly make drinks in here.
Yeah.
But every once in a while I'll make a soup.
Yeah.
But that's about it. But yeah, the kitchen's kind of where the split to the actual Airbnb is. So it's cool to kind of know where it's happening, but I always am a lot quieter in the kitchen. It's probably better that I don't cook a ton because I feel like they could hear that a lot more because it's so close to like kind of where it splits.
Yeah. Because literally right here is their living room.
Yeah, the house is interesting because it used to be like this was the final wall and there wasn't a living space there. And they connected the garage to the house, and that's kind of what that living room is over there. So like window here was a external window. So now I just put blinds on both sides.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, knowing, of course, we'll be going through the whole video and seeing like where everything is on the opposite side and what it's like to be the guest. But knowing that the door is here where you can kind of hear people go down into the basement because the stairs are like right here.
Stairs are right there. You can definitely hear people when they're in this vicinity and talking and whatnot. So
well, show us a little bit more around.
Yeah, sure. So there's not much more to see up here. Kitchen, living space, and then down this hallway is kind of where the 2-bed 1-bath splits. These are just like a closet for coats or storage, and then these old houses I feel like I'll have a linen closet instead of having a bigger bathroom. So that's what this is.
Okay.
And then just a small full bath with a tub, and they like kind of remodeled it, but it works.
Yeah, it works.
It's good for
it's a full bath.
And then my demon dog is in that room, so we're gonna avoid it. But that's one of the bedrooms, and then there's a second guest bedroom up here. I used to have a roommate that lived in this room as well while I was house hacking the basement.
Yep.
And that was probably the most income producing you can make this house. But now I kind of just use it as a flex space guest bedroom. And it works out great.
But there was a point in time where you were hiking for like 30 days. And we'll talk about it later, but I guess that's just like the comfort of it, knowing that you can still make income and reduce your mortgage as you're out doing stuff. Like you can still live your life and still make, I don't know, a couple grand like per month, depending, especially on the summer season.
That was my best month was when I was gone.
Yeah,
in terms of like what I made.
Dude, you should leave more often.
That's what I'm saying. As quiet, the guests weren't disturbed. So
yeah.
that's the best case scenario. But
cool.
Yeah, I agree.
So here we are. It's going to be like we're going to be the Airbnb guests. So Ben, do they park on the driveway? Can they do on-street parking too, or what's up?
It's my directions say park in the street. Actually, it says all caps, do not park in the driveway.
Okay.
But I have a good amount of guests that park in the driveway. I think just because you see it, like, oh, I'm staying in a house, like that makes sense. So
Yeah.
I will allow it if they want to take one side and they maybe have 2 or 3 cars.
Yeah.
But preferably I usually have them parked kind of right on the street right there because it's always open.
Yeah, because there's a decent amount of on-street parking. At least
yeah,
from what
I was
I'm
gonna say it's
seeing.
pretty residential. Like there's a good amount of parking, so
Yeah.
I don't mind if they do. I just would prefer if when they ask beforehand, and it's
Yeah.
all good. But I have had construction workers who are here for a job and they're driving a big box truck, and they've specifically asked to park in the driveway, which I've allowed. And then similar to you, people with a Sprinter van have wanted to park in the driveway, and I always let that go as well because it's. I just have 1 car in there, so it's more like I just want to be trapped.
Totally. Yeah.
But yeah, this is kind of the living room mixed with the washer dryer. This room is cool because, like I was saying, this is where the house ended before. This was kind of the external wall, and this was an external window, external door, etc.
Oh, yeah.
And so when they enclose this in, it kind of just connects to the garage and gives guests a first floor living room, which is another plus. I feel like I see a lot of full basement setups. So I think people do like having a not underground space.
I'm just noticing that all this natural light.
Yeah.
The only lights that are on is the ceiling light and this lamp.
Exactly.
So everything else is just coming in naturally. So,
Yeah,
and this is dead of winter, kind of nice,
Yeah. Exactly.
And so, if people were just chilling up here and then when nighttime happens, they just go down there, chill even harder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This room it's a little weird. It's only got 1 vent, and I got quoted for putting a splitter for heating and stuff, but it was crazy expensive. So I kind of just went with space heater, more blankets.
Yeah.
And people are fine with that. It's been working out well. But yeah, got Netflix and Hulu they can log in and and kind of chill up here. I notice a lot. This is usually where people are hanging out.
Okay.
Which is cool because you can also if you want it to be more private from my space, close this door here.
Yeah.
And then it is kind of you're in your own little setup. So, but
kind of like that.
Yeah.
As far as the backyard goes, because I see access to the backyard.
Yeah, so that's the biggest thing on my list. Next summer, this will be completely redone.
Yeah. If you don't mind, can we just check it out?
Let's check it out. So another crazy story is this door I had to replace as well. I've had bad luck with doors. But I had a guy mowing my lawn, a neighbor, and a rock flew up while I had guests here and smashed this whole window, and glass just shattered.
Yeah.
Worst Saturday of my life. But yeah, so they have direct access here. This light, I want to an actual backyard setup that during the summertime people can use, and I don't really use it. It's not a big deal if this is used by guests. We can go on out. I've had a couple ideas. My dad's been out trying to help me determine what the best setup would be, but we're kind of figuring out laying concrete. Yeah. Getting one of those shade triangle looking things. Yeah. And then getting just your typical backyard setup, and then some bushes, outdoor games, maybe classic cornhole. Got the Wi-Fi.
Nice, Lily Bean.
Yeah, this is the window that goes to my kitchen. That was an external window. So I just put another blind there, so I felt people are gonna have better just to have it. Yeah. So this switch is messed up. So I have one that I don't. It's a 3-way switch. Oh. So it operates this one and one downstairs. So I usually just tell guests not to use it. It's kind of dark in here, but this is the split to where the kitchen is. And then we head straight down to the actual living space.
Yeah, now that you mentioned it, having that front access is so clutch.
Yeah, I feel
and in that living room on the main floor.
Yeah, definitely. It feels different than just being underground in someone's house. Yeah. Which is, I think, people do enjoy that.
Well, I do want to say, because I already did a preliminary tour prior to hitting the record button, that this is a sweet setup, man.
Thanks.
As far as the decorations, I'm not much of an interior designer.
Neither am I. This was a work in progress, for sure. Still is. Yeah.
You probably got some inspiration from magazines or other people, how they set it up. Yeah. But with this not having a full kitchen, people still feel like they can operate and heat up food and all that good stuff. So mind talking a little bit about the setup?
Yeah, so I didn't have this kind of hot pad stove top to start with, and then I had a few guests saying that it would be nice if they just had a 1 burner to heat up water for pasta or anything. Yeah. And so I bought one. It was kind of expensive, not too bad. Now it gets used every stay.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so I'm okay, that was a great investment. Yeah. And people seem to like it because it's not a full kitchen, so it kind of brings that. Yeah, so this is kind of mixed living space, kitchen, I have some recommendations for restaurants around the area,
Nice.
little guest books, snacks.
Nice.
Usually if I sometimes put a bottle of wine out. This was just for kind of the aesthetics of it.
Yeah.
This is champagne. But another thing that is weird about split house, like house hacking, is the thermostat situation. So the controls are in my space, and I've had, before I figured out the solution, guests were complaining that they couldn't adjust it. It was hot, it was too cold, yada, yada, yada. So when I got my AC installed, which is behind this barrier, I had them put in a smart thermostat upstairs, and that connects to my good friend Alexa. And then you can use your voice to change the heat, put on the AC and things like that. And it works out great because I don't necessarily care too much. Like, I'm not here that often. If I am, like, I can turn on the fan, it's fine. So I really feel like the guests can control the air, which is great.
Love it.
Yeah. So
let's check out the other rooms.
So this is kind of a room I didn't know what to do with for a while. It's kind of set up right now as like a dining room, game room-esque area. The problem with this room is there's no outlets and there was no vent when I bought the house. And so I've added a vent, and the next step would be to get some outlets in here so I could
vent. You're talking about this?
Yeah.
Okay. So
what do we call those things?
Yeah, no, you're right, because I thought that this was actually
that's my ductwork. Yeah, that's the actual. Yeah.
Because I didn't even know
registers. Aren't those called registers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when I first saw it, I was like, oh yeah, like of course it has.
It wasn't there before.
It wasn't there before.
No, it wasn't there, and it's like we're saying, that's straight up the ductwork. So it was easy. When I had the AC installed, I was like, could you guys just literally cut a square? Put the register in, and then at least this room has some heat.
Okay.
And it's worked out
super convenient.
This is the smallest of the 3 bedrooms. I just have a twin in here, and I kind of list this for the workstation, having a desk. And does not have an egress window.
Okay.
But it's been functioning fine. Big closets. This is where the radon mitigation sits, which you also negotiated for me at closing. So seller put this in. I'd like to get some kind of curtain that covers, because guests, I think, don't really understand what that is.
It just looks
a little scary, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but it's been fine. Let's check out the other 2.
Let's do it.
This is my best door too. I'll have to show you the doors in the other 2 bedrooms.
This is the best.
That's the best door, man. The other ones are tough. So this is one of the rooms that I had the egress window put in, and it's got a queen. It's kind of got like a Harry Potter-esque mix, actual closet, but it's good. And this window here, like I was saying, this used to be the outside of the house. So that you can tell this is one of those small windows that you see on the outside, but this now goes into that living space. So it's just an interesting setup. Like, this house I'm always like, that's just so weird, but it works out perfect for Airbnb.
So that's the egress window from the inside.
Correct.
That is it.
That's the one. And
okay.
It's great. I haven't had any issues besides one flood.
Did it get in?
Yeah.
Oh, gnarly.
Yeah, it was bad, but it was a time, and after that, I had the same guy come out and reinstall more expensive ones without charging.
Okay.
I don't know if I told you about that. It was crazy.
Oh,
crazy experience.
But it looks like the same setup where you unlock it and you pull it out.
It's more like the outside is different now. Before you could almost see the backyard from in here. They really raised it and dug deeper so that hopefully it doesn't get water in.
Gotcha.
But I'm telling you, I had 2 a.m. guests acting like they're asleep on the bed while water is flowing through the window.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh my gosh.
They left me a great review. I refunded them. It was all fine. But just crazy. It's not all,
sunshine and rainbows.
Sunshine and rainbows.
Totally. Yeah, because that's something that I want to bring up too is like, there are like bad setbacks and things that you have to repair. And that's something that we want to hear at the end too is like how much you're making on this place.
Sure.
Like, why are you going through all these problems, the issues? Is it still worth it?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We'll talk about that at the end.
Sure.
Nice.
Cool.
But this is sick.
Yeah, this one works. And then this is kind of the last bedroom. It's the biggest one of the 3.
Yep.
It has the other egress window and one of the smaller windows as well, and a closet over here. And then that's kind of all I really added. When I was, researching what's included in short-term rental rooms, like the bare minimum is like make it feel somewhat homey, and a lot of them were the rugs kind of do that.
Yep.
And then having like a full body mirror, people like that, and then an egress window if needed. So
cool.
I haven't added too much, beyond that. But
and what size bed is this?
This is a queen. Queen. Yep.
Okay.
These are in that room and the room we were just in.
And you got ample room on both sides.
Agreed.
You know, like, yeah, you got a nightstand on this side, but you also got a chair just for like the reading nook.
Yeah, a little reading nook. And I brought like my old books down here. And people actually have noticed like we'll leave them on the nightstand. So I assume they may be
nice.
Some of them, but
you got good taste, I guess.
Yeah, I must have. So it works out well. But I've done some work in here where I repainted this wall because it had a ton of like, just, you can kind of see it on the ceiling. I'd like to do some repainting the ceiling as well, but it's just basements I feel like can have not the best trim work, paints, things of that nature.
Yep. For some reason, they just don't get the same amount of love.
They don't get the love. Yeah, exactly. And it just no guess might come down here and they look at that and like, oh, that's kind of nasty. But,
yeah.
But it's easy to do. So
nice. Well, I mean, thanks for the tour, man. I think I want to ask you a couple more questions just at the very end here, just see like what the numbers have been, what the experience has been, pros and cons, and any sort of parting advice that you want to give out to the audience and other house hackers.
Let's do it. And we can check out the bathroom too.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the bathroom. Before we get to that, let's check out the bathroom.
It's tiny, so it doesn't need much, but it works.
But you did make some upgrades though.
I have made some upgrades in here. Obviously it's small, added this guy in, and then the shower, I think people like when they have this kind of, I feel like you see that at hotels, right? Like kind of where you have the soap in different dispensers and it doesn't feel like you're using the same soap someone else just used. And so that I recently put in, and then I do give guests makeup removing wipes and extra toothbrushes and toothpaste, just to try to make it feel a little bit more, I don't know.
Yeah,
nice.
I noticed that you had the soft clothes there too.
Oh, we got the soft clothes. Yeah, that's a huge plus. All the drawers have soft clothes, which we love. But cool. That's the bathroom.
Nice.
Yeah. Do you have one of these in yours?
I don't.
Okay, they're really funny to read.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't always check them out, but like I'll read them every few weeks, and I'm like, I have one that says like, accidentally dropped a knife behind the fridge. Sorry. I'm like, why did you put that in
so that the next guest can find the knife?
Exactly. I'm like, that's so silly.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you're doing this for a reason, and you keep going with it. Yeah. So I'm curious to know like what the mortgage is right now, and how much you're making, I'd say like during the summer and then during the winter. Okay. So you have like on peak, off peak numbers.
Gotcha. So full story about the house, $460,000, did the CHAFA program where the down payment was covered by them, and just gave me a slightly higher interest rate. So interest rate is 5.75 and my PITI is $3,116.
Okay. Couple things.
Yeah.
CHAFA, Colorado Housing
Finance
Authorization.
Yeah, something of that nature.
Authority.
Authorization. There's something. They're a government.
Yeah. So they helped you out with the down payment.
Yes.
3%.
3%.
Okay.
Correct.
And I remember you got a check at the closing table.
Yeah, it's crazy. I feel like we should go into that.
Yeah.
It was, I put no money down. I had to put the $5,000 earnest money at closing.
Sure.
But then since you negotiated the egress windows, the radon mitigation, and the part of it was also just helping the closing costs. They also paid for that door going into the Airbnb space. That split. So at closing, I actually walked out with a check for $900, which was crazy.
Gnarly.
But yeah, so I didn't put any money down. CHAFA covered that. And then the way the repayment works is I don't owe any interest on that down payment until I decide to either sell or refinance. And then at that point, it starts accruing interest. But they will take payment in the form of appreciation of the house. So I think they gave me like 18 grand or something. If I decide to refinance in 5 years, I'm going to assume the house is hopefully appreciated that much and can kind of cover the down payment that they gave. So
got it.
It's a win-win. I thought it was a great way to like buy a house without having to put a ton of money down because they're so expensive out here.
And with those people that are interested in CHAFA, I mean, obviously Ben's situation it can be unique. So whoever you decide to work with as far as the lender goes, make sure you talk to them and see if that is a good option for you. Because there's like income requirements, location requirements, where that all has to be.
Yeah.
So with everything being said, it was a perfect storm for you to...
It just worked out so well.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And I think that's not the only program that's like that. So I'd encourage people just to like look into them because I thought I wouldn't qualify for one or that it wouldn't work because of X, Y, Z, and it did. So I feel like there's a ton of those out there. But yeah, so the numbers are 3,100. I'd say like after utilities, I'm probably 3,400, like everything included.
And that's your monthly expenses?
Yeah, that's total, like, trash, the water, electricity, Wi-Fi, all those things. Summer months would be grossing close to 4,000, a little over 4,000. Like when I did the Colorado Trail, I think I grossed like 4,600 that month.
Nice.
And so I was netting like take home like 33 to 3,500. So it was completely covering my mortgage and then some, which
Beautiful.
was great. And so you can imagine when I did have Colton as a roommate, it was like another 850 on top of that, which was super, super good.
Yeah.
Nowadays, at the end of summer when he moved out, I was getting 2,800 to 3,200 take home. And that's great. I just wanted to do this to be able to buy a house and pay less than like $1,800 for a 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
So I've never had to pay that much on my mortgage, which is great. And so, yeah, probably floating around that 3,000 mark in the summertime net. And then that leaves me with the $200 to $300 for utilities.
Yeah.
And then some months were great. I didn't have to pay anything. But
Yeah. I mean, knowing that you were paying or could have been paying
Yeah.
$1,800 for a 1-bed, 1-bath in, let's say, Denver, like
Yeah.
Denver,
yeah,
right?
downtown.
Yeah. I mean, sure, you're going to be like in the heart of it all, things
Yeah.
like that. But now you got a 2-bed, 1-bath.
Yeah.
And you get to benefit on certain tax benefits, appreciation,
Yeah.
things like that. You already went through 1 whole year of being a Airbnb host now.
Yeah, correct.
How overall, I'd say on a scale of 1 to 10, how has your experience been?
It's been an 8. I'd say an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Most of it's positive. I don't really think about it too much. And I like actually enjoy it, which I think is, I
Yeah.
wouldn't do it if it wasn't somewhat enjoyable. Like
Yeah.
I think I found an interest in like homes through buying a house and setting up Airbnb and like real estate in general, which was cool. But yeah, overall it's been really positive, and guests are usually super nice,
Mhm.
and I don't really see them too often unless they want to. And I still like live my normal life in my house,
Yeah.
my portion of the house, as if I would any other way. And then it's a benefit of like short-term rental is I can use this space if I don't have guests. So
Right.
I had a friend who had his bachelor party group stay here, and I like didn't charge him. I just blocked those days
So
off.
cool.
Yeah, and it's like cool. And then if I have friends come out and visit, I can block those nights off and use the space.
I'm guilty as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I have an Airbnb as well.
Yeah.
So like knowing that there's a 4-bed, 2-bath, 10 minutes away from downtown Denver
Yeah.
is so convenient for a lot of friends that just want to hang out here.
Yeah.
You know, like I might not give them like completely free, but like at a steep discount, like 75% off.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Enough to like keep the lights on,
Sure.
you know?
Yeah.
But it's nice to know that like, hey, yeah, stay at my place.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to say
It
too.
is kind of cool. You feel, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the numbers in the winter,
Uh-huh.
going back to that. So
Yes.
like right now, November was my worst month, I'd say.
This
ever.
past November.
This past November,
Okay,
yeah.
uh-huh.
But I think I took home 2,000 maybe.
Okay.
Or like I'm usually between 2,000 to 2,300 take home. So
Okay.
I'm like more like grossing right around 3,000 or a little less.
Okay.
So I guess the math, like I'm paying 1,000 to 1,300 out of my pocket,
Okay.
which is like not great, but still less than I would be paying renting a 1-bed in Denver, which is the alternative. And I think the offset from the summers still makes it fine.
Yeah.
So I'm not too worried.
Yeah, a lot of people forget that like house hacking, maybe back in the day when interest rates are like 2.5%, 3%,
Yeah.
you would try to cash flow on this place pretty
Yeah.
consistently
Right.
and most likely be successful at
Yeah.
the same time. But nowadays it's more like, okay, what's the alternative here? Like
Yeah.
I now own a home
Yep.
in the North Aurora area, not too far away from Anschutz
Yep.
and Stanley Marketplace and all that good stuff. And not only that, but shoot, I forgot where I was going with this. But oh yeah,
Offset your costs.
offset your
Yeah.
costs, exactly.
Yeah.
Like your actual living expenses are significantly reduced. I mean,
Yeah.
your mortgage is 3,300, well, 3,100
Yeah.
plus everything all in. Your living expenses 3,400,
Yeah.
and now you're offsetting that by so much, and you're only like paying 1,300 to 1,400
At
in
the worst months.
in
Yeah.
the worst months. Yeah.
Exactly.
Huge benefit in that
It's
regard.
awesome. So yeah, I think I'm going to keep doing it. And, you know, my interest rate's low comparatively to like
Yeah.
what we're seeing now. But if it does come down, like, of course, I'll try to refinance and bring the mortgage down.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy that I didn't put any money down.
Yeah.
Someone else did it for me, negotiated all these things. And then I just have to be responsible for like at max $1,400 a month to
Yeah.
own a home. So
So nice.
it really fell into place well.
So all in all, if you had maybe 1 or 2 gold nuggets of good information for house hackers out there, whether it is like using it as a long-term rental or short-term, what would be your pieces of advice for them?
I would tell people to stop looking at like downtown Denver. I think that there's like a lot of locations like in the suburbs around Denver that are 15 to 20 minutes out that I've gone to a ton of open houses for, that their setup is similar to this or better, and the purchase price is close and like you could make it either cash flow or be in a similar spot. And I have a lot of friends who want to do the same thing, but they want to live in downtown, or they want to be walking distance to a coffee shop, or they want to do all these things. And it's like a little bit of a trade-off if you want to live cheaper and, you know, actually buy an asset that's going to appreciate. And so I do think there's that trade-off that I'd encourage people to like maybe think about other aspects of, you know, your main city where you could live. That's a big one for me that I kind of had a stomach, because I also wanted to live like downtown. I was like, oh, I'm still young, like I want to like live close by. And being 20 minutes away, I've not really felt like out of the loop of things by any means.
Okay.
So that's one. I'm trying to think of a good second golden nugget that I could give the people. Oh, I'd say like setting up the Airbnb was not as hard as I thought it was gonna be. I think that is a turn off for some people. It's like, I don't want to go through like setting it up and being a host. Like, I think it's less work than people think. It was definitely not easy, but like everyone's set up a few bed frames before, you know, like you just gotta set up a few bed frames. You need to have the bare minimum and be courteous to your guests, and like you'll get people booked. I mean, I'm even noticing things in here that I should be implementing in my own Airbnb.
Like something as basic as having extra toothbrushes. Guest book.
Right.
I mean, all of these things are, I mean, they may seem elementary, but you can always improve on your current situation. Just from like visiting other people's. I feel like this is as much a benefit to me as it is to you guys. So like seeing other people's Airbnbs and house hacks just makes things so much easier in the future for not only me, but my clients too. So
I think people should just do it. Like, I always get mad, not mad, but like my friends are like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, okay, keep renting your $2,200 apartment. It's fine. But yeah, I think like you were saying, a lot of this stuff, like you don't need. Like I slowly added it on as I kept going with the whole process. And people are still leaving great reviews, and like we're happy to be here without like a lot of like extra toothbrushes or things like that.
Totally.
So it's kind of interesting to see it change over time.
Nice. Well, Ben, thank you so much, man. I feel like it's like this is a complete transformation, and I feel like this is the fourth time I said it. Like this is an awesome setup. I really like what you've done with the place. So that being said, appreciate you guys like just hanging out. All my contact information is down in the description below. If you want to hit me up, text me, or even if you want to hit up Ben, I will give you his contact information through his approval, of course. So truly appreciate it, guys. If you want more house hacking content, like put it in the comments below, because I want to know what you guys want to see. And if this is not what you want to see, let me know what you do want to see. Put it in the comments, send me a DM, send me a text as well. So appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next week.